Today we analyze the destructive behavioral patterns inherent in narcissistic abuse cycles, specifically examining the transition from the devaluation phase to the final discard. For this course video, I'll explain by synthesizing empirical mental health industry research with the holistic recovery frameworks established by contemporary educators. This course provides a comprehensive overview of emotional manipulation mechanics that are often missed because they are so subtle. The analysis highlights tactical alienation, the biological underpinnings of trauma bonding, and the critical cognitive shifts necessary for long-term psychological rehabilitation. One of the things that I've observed is that narcissistic abuse represents a distinct form of psychological manipulation, whereas those with possibly a perpetrator aim to utilize cyclical behavioral patterns to assert dominance and control over their victims. The psychological trajectory typically advances through highly calculated phases: initial idealization, systematic devaluation, and a sudden discard. For survivors and mental health care practitioners to understand the structural mechanics of these phases is essential for maintaining mental health. This course explores these interpersonal dynamics by contextualizing explicit manipulation tactics within established clinical research and exploring the strategic behavioral interventions necessary to dismantle a perpetrator's psychological influence. We'll take a deep dive into the psychological and vibrational dynamics of the narcissistic abuse cycles and how and when to detach from toxic relationships like narcissistic relationships. I will specifically focus on the transition from devaluation to discard and how some of the most diabolical Hoover tactics designed to manipulate a reunion often occurs. I explain and describe triangulation and the one-down method as intentional tactics used to destabilize a victim while the abuser secures new supply or maintains a back burner connection. Central to my Recovery 333 framework for survivors is the architect's mindset, which encourages survivors to shift from a reactionary state to one of critical thinking and strict boundaries. I've learned by trial and error that by understanding concepts like trauma bonding and the false self-image, survivors can recognize that an abuser's hoovering attempts are driven by a need for control rather than genuine remorse. Ultimately, this course does emphasize holistic healing, suggesting that survivors must intentionally raise their vibrational frequency through self-care and constructive detachment techniques to thrive forward. This process involves adopting no-contact personal boundaries, emotional and self-discipline techniques, and utilizing cognitive tools to dismantle the abuser's influence and reclaim personal power. Now, having said all of that, I want survivors to understand that it's not about being perfect. It's about becoming more proactive with your recovery journey after experiencing the aftermath of toxic relationships. One of the most painful and perhaps misunderstood aspects of narcissistic abuse is to attempt to understand hurtful patterns and triangulation. When we look at what happens during these painful relationships, research shows just how deeply a survivor's mind and body can be impacted. Studies explain that experiencing these shifting cycles can leave survivors carrying a heavy weight of deep trauma, constant sadness, and overwhelming worry. All one must do is research and surf social media pages where they will find many testimonies about these experiences. Tactics like triangulation, where an abuser pulls a third person into the dynamic to create doubt, are used to make you feel unsteady, insecure, and disconnected from your own truth. This ongoing emotional stress often shows up physically too, causing survivors to experience stomach pain, painful headaches, and a very difficult time sleeping at night. Please know that these symptoms are your body's natural response to an unnatural amount of stress. So, let's talk about the real reasons behind the strong emotional bond in some of the most painful relationships. It is vital to be gentle with yourself when reflecting on why it feels so incredibly hard to walk away from these relationships. Science shows that the powerful bond you feel isn't a personal failure. It is a deeply wired response in the brain. When an abuser switches back and forth between overflowing affection and cold rejection, it creates a confusing chemical roller coaster. It is when your brain chemistry gets caught in a loop of highs and lows that it can feel very much like an addiction. When they try to pull you back in later with love bombing, word salad combined with sweet words or promises, they aren't showing real love or true sorrow. Instead, they are simply trying to regain a sense of control and find comfort for themselves at your expense. Here's a critical question that can go in a journal. How do you now embracing your healing journey and reclaiming your power? True healing begins when you gently guide your mind out of a constant state of fear and survival, allowing yourself to think clearly and safely again. Standard relationship advice often falls short because this specific kind of heartbreak fundamentally shakes your sense of who you are. Choosing to step away completely through no contact is an act of profound self-love that gives your body and mind the quiet space they need to rest and reset. By learning to look at the situation with gentle objectivity, you can see the behavior for what it truly was without carrying the blame. Combining these protective boundaries with nurturing self-care allows you to heal from the inside out, mend your heart, and step back into your own beautiful strength. So, here's a path to healing after experiencing such profound emotional ups and downs that requires deep patience, self-compassion, and a specialized understanding of trauma. These painful behaviors are specifically designed to erode your confidence and make you question your own reality. It is completely natural to feel deeply attached to someone who hurt you, as the brain naturally gets caught up in the chemical ups and downs of the cycle. Ultimately, finding your way back to peace relies on honoring your own boundaries, treating your mind and body with kindness, and taking slow, intentional steps to reclaim your personal freedom and inner warmth. Remember that sometimes it is the darkest moments that can provide the greatest opportunity to shine the brightest. Share and like this video. Don't forget to order your book about when and how to detach in the most powerful and profound way if you are feeling stuck in a toxic relationship right now.
Which term describes the Hoover before the Hoover? The correct answer is B, the backburner effect. This tactic involves using a third party to keep a target emotionally engaged and primed for the narcissist's return.
Hey, flying monkeys do not hoover for free. Flying monkeys and narcissists, they have resonance. In other words, they vibe. They're pretty much on the same page. What some flying monkeys don't realize is that after you have been hoovered back in, they have done all that dirty work, and they go to the narcissist expecting to supply or to pay. That's when the narcissist pulls the rug out from under him or her, and they're saying your services are no longer needed. Your overall process for thriving forward is compromised when you have flying monkeys around. Some people may be wondering, well, why would the flying monkey even agree to do the dirty work to hoover you back in? All right, well, this is because they have something called resonance, or they vibe. See, narcissists and some cluster personality types, they choose flying monkeys that they have resonance with because they're more prone, okay, and they're more open to do the dirty work. Because narcissists and some cluster personality types, as a lot of us know from experience, they study people. So they know the vices, they know the characteristics of the flying monkey or the enabler. But since we're talking about the flying monkey here, I'm going to focus on them in this vlog. Flying monkeys expect to be supplied by the narcissist. They work for the narcissist. Look at it like this. When you go to your job, when it's time to get your pay, who signs your paycheck? The narcissist is the one that signs the paycheck of the flying monkey. So when it's time to be supplied, they're not going to come to you. They're going to go to the narcissist. So when it's time for them to get the payment, they're not going to check for you. They're going to go for the narcissist and say, hey, where's my pay? Flying monkeys do not hoover for free. Flying monkeys and narcissists, they have resonance. In other words, they vibe. They're pretty much on the same page. What some flying monkeys don't realize is that after you have been hoovered back in, they have done all that dirty work, and they go to the narcissist expecting to supply or to pay. That's when the narcissist pulls the rug out from under him or her, and they're saying your services are no longer needed. See, when flying monkeys are discarded, this is something that sometimes it even takes them by surprise. Sometimes, because they have a hidden agenda, it is the flying monkey that instigates your getting hoovered back in. Sometimes they facilitate you're getting hoovered, while the narcissist is often the one that conducts the whole shenanigan. The flying monkey may be a family member of yours. One of their hidden agendas is to get you hoovered back in, so they are in favor of the narcissist. Flying monkeys sometimes make the mistake of thinking when they are highly favored, that means that they are excluded from being discarded. That's not true. Narcissists often discard the flying monkey after you get hoovered back in. Sign number one that you're dealing with a flying monkey is that the flying monkey will often try to connect you to the narcissist after you have gone no contact. In other words, they try to make a connection where there isn't a connection. This is something that we often overlook when we're dealing with flying monkeys. Sometimes we don't even know that the flying monkey is hoovering us back in, but it's a 1-2 punch to the hoovering process. It is the hoover before the hoover. This can never be accomplished without a flying monkey. And this is what a lot of narcissists have come to realize. Sign number two that you're dealing with a flying monkey is that they actually remind you of your narcissist. They remind you of a particular cluster personality type. Now you've gone no contact, you can see things a little bit more clearly. Now that you're low contact, you may be able to see things a little bit more clearly. But the bottom line is this: when that flying monkey is around, or it could be several of them, you may even think to yourself, wow, if I didn't know any better, you know, you're just like so-and-so, and you're thinking about the narcissist. So narcissists and flying monkeys often have similar vices, and they often have similar characteristics. And sometimes their hidden agendas to get you hoovered back in are not so similar. But sign number two again is when that flying monkey reminds you too much of the narcissist. So it's a little bit too close for comfort. See, flying monkeys and narcissists are not twins. They're more like first cousins because they have a hidden agenda that may not be similar, but their characteristics often are. When the flying monkey gets your hoover back in, sometimes the triangulation is set in place. The narcissist, again, the narcissist is the one that conducts the whole shenanigan of the hoovering process, while the flying monkey facilitates it, or they instigate it. This again has everything to do with their hidden agendas to get you hoovered back in. So the flying monkey and the narcissist, and there you are, there's a triangulation going on. The biggest piece of that triangulation pie goes to the narcissist, never to the flying monkey. The triangulation is set into play until the narcissist decides to discard of the flying monkey. If they do so, sometimes the flying monkey gets to stick around for a long time. Sign number three that you are dealing with a flying monkey is that you get a sense of, or you discover that you have been betrayed, not only by the flying monkey, but by the narcissist. But this is what's very interesting. You've been betrayed by the narcissist, but because the flying monkey has been whispering in your ear about the narcissist, now you're nostalgic. You're all giddy and gushy over the narcissist again. So whatever they've done, including betraying you, gets put in the back burner, or put on the back burner. It fades into the background. You decide that the flying monkey now has taken the place of the narcissist. Very creepy when you think about it. But the flying monkey is the one that you now realize has betrayed you. The flying monkey works for the narcissist. So everything you share with the flying monkey goes right to the narcissist. And the narcissist uses that against you. When you give full detail of everything that's going on in your life, what you're feeling about what's going on in your life, such as getting fired, such as not getting that promotion on the job. See, you're feeling and thinking a certain way, and you may confide in the flying monkey. The flying monkey does all of this in hopes to be highly regarded or in favor of your narcissist. One of the things that flying monkeys and narcissists have in common is that they will try to gain at other people's expenses. So a flying monkey, once you find out that they have betrayed you, you get that sense of being violated because the flying monkey actually did gain at your expense. So when you put all this in context, yeah, you find out that the flying monkey actually did gain something at your expense. They're trying to stay in favor of the narcissist at your expense. And sometimes they pull it off. That's why some of us find out that it is the flying monkey that has also betrayed us, not just the narcissist. Tool number 1, focus on your goals. What are your priorities? So prioritize your life, prioritize your values, prioritize your principles. So focus on your ambitions, your passions. Okay, what makes you smile? What makes you laugh? What makes you really feel like getting up out of bed and going after what you want in life? Focus on what it's going to take in order for you to thrive past codependent narcissistic relationships. Tool number 2, build your support base. Navigate it like a boss. You get to decide who and what consists of your support base. It's a good idea to expect support. You don't have to go around thinking you're never going to get support. See, narcissists want you to think that your life is just hopeless. You're hopeless. You don't count. No, expect support. Expect to be treated well. The narcissist has already shown you that he or she doesn't have the capacity to treat you well, okay? They don't support you. So don't think that this is going to always be your life. Tool number 3, take time out to restore your health, your mind, restore your overall well-being. You've gone through something. Codependent narcissistic relationships are designed to destroy, to damage. Your overall well-being, your health is compromised every time you're in a relationship with a close personality type, such as a narcissist. Take some time out for yourself. You're going to need it. You need a safe environment to express what you have gone through. Sometimes we give anger a bad rap. You got to go ahead and tap into that anger. The anger is only an expression of an injustice. That's all it is. Sometimes people misuse their anger. I get it. But because you've gone through this ordeal called a codependent narcissistic relationship, you have to express what you've gone through. Don't suppress your anger, because suppressing your anger will cause health problems. Take time out to restore your spirit, your mind, your overall well-being. Okay? It's worth it. Invest in yourself for a change.
What does a flying monkey expect for doing dirty work? The answer is B, a paycheck of narcissistic supply, status, or high favor. Flying monkeys are motivated by supply and status, not genuine connection.
Emotional alchemy, the legacy audit. Examine your emotional blueprint. Transmute inherited patterns. Transcend for generational freedom.
On that note, please mind the description box below for further details to today's video. First point, the narcissist has the will, drive, determination, passion, and desire to thrive forward with or without you. The universe does not care who was right or wrong. The universe cares about energy, frequency, and vibration. So when it comes to all relationships, whether they are healthy or not, those relationships fulfill a purpose. See, a lot of us don't get it when we're in it. Okay? So while those relationships are going on, it's pretty hard to see what the valuable lessons are, especially if it's very painful. So when we're involved with the narcissist or the close personality, the universe is not saying that it doesn't matter what they have done to hurt other people. No, because when it comes to the universe doesn't look at right or wrong. It only cares about energy, frequency, and vibration. So regardless of what the narcissist has done to hurt other people, it matters, but it doesn't matter. And I'll get further into that later in the video. Once a person realizes that the dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist has come to an end, it is more than likely that he or she no longer operates on the same vibrational frequency the narcissist does. This is cause for celebration. However, many become grieved by this reality. As I stated in the previous slide, a lot of us don't get the valuable lessons while the dysfunctional relationship is going on. See, while the relationship is going on with the narcissist or the cluster personality, that means that that person is a vibrational match with the narcissist and cluster personality. Does not mean that they are cursed, does not mean that they're a bad person necessarily. It means that they are operating on a particular vibrational frequency. And the energy that he or she possesses is a match in order to have a relationship that is dysfunctional with anyone. It doesn't have to be the narcissist. It just means that those particular individuals who were in relationships with the narcissist, it means that at that particular time, they were operating on a vibrational frequency, which would open him or her up to having a very painful experience, such as a dysfunctional relationship. It just happens to be with the narcissist or the cluster personality. This does not mean the narcissist or the cluster personality was right in their behavior. As I stated before, the universe does not look at who was right or who was wrong. It only pays attention to vibration, frequency, and energy. Let's move forward. Narcissists and those who have a cluster personality will not allow such grievances to stop him or her from thriving forward and indulging in many sources of supply that awaits them, right or wrong. The narcissist moves ahead and the universe obliges him or her, not because they are right, but because they have the energy and passion to do so, regardless of others that they may have hurt. Okay, so this is where I'm going to get a little bit deeper into a particular statement that I made earlier, which is the universe does not look at who was right and wrong. The universe only pays attention to energy, vibration, and frequency. So when the narcissist causes other or influences sadness and anger and all these other unpleasant emotions on other people, this does not mean the narcissist is being rewarded. It may look that way, it may seem that way, but it's all due to the person's perception of what they have experienced, which was the dysfunctional relationship. They experienced that. So their perception is going to match that. So they look at the narcissist like, okay, how can they move forward so easily? How can they move forward and enjoy their lives or seemingly have success? Well, again, because the narcissist has decided and they have gotten it in their minds that they are going to live their lives to the full, regardless of who they have left behind to pick up the pieces. I am not saying this to be sarcastic or cruel. I'm stating a fact. It is all in what we choose. It is about what we concentrate and focus on. The universe does not show favoritism. The narcissist is not that special, folks. Okay? The narcissist may seemingly move on and thrive on to greater success. So the narcissist may have caused many people grievances. However, right or wrong, good or bad, the narcissist and the cluster personality, what they usually do is they do not allow such grievances to stop them from thriving forward and indulging in many of the source supply that does await them. They know that there are other people on the planet that they can prey on, so they thrive on forward. And that is what they focus on. The universe does not stop to say, well, oh, that person is wrong for doing that. No, the universe only pays attention to frequency, vibration, and energy. Sometimes the narcissist possesses the frequency, the vibration, and the energy, which would open him or her up to having so-called success in life, whatever that success may be to you or anyone else. People have different definitions for success. So when the narcissist and cluster personality seemingly have thrived and moved on and seem to get better with time, don't let that fool you, okay? Again, it's all in the perception. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors for the narcissist and cluster personality. So when the narcissist and cluster personality has caused you grievances, this does not mean they're being rewarded just because it looks like their life is better. They have more source supply and so on and so forth. It doesn't mean that they're being rewarded for how they have treated you so badly. That doesn't mean that. It just means that they have decided that they will thrive on forward regardless of how they treated you or anyone else. And the universe did not stand in their way. The universe obliged him or her, not because they are necessarily a good person. It's amazing how so many people who have outgrown the dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist, they continue to hold on to that. So therefore, they continue to function off of that vibration. They continue to function on that vibration, pardon me. So they still are hurting. They're still suffering some things. They haven't gotten past what the narcissist has done in the relationship. Again, not trying to make it sound like I'm advocating for the narcissist. Absolutely not. I'm simply pointing out how a lot of people who have had relationship with the narcissist, they have had the relationship with the cluster B personality, they continue to operate off of the same vibration that opened them up to having the dysfunctional relationship with him or her in the first place. That's how come they continue. This is exactly why when they look at the narcissist and the narcissist has thrived on and moved on, and maybe they have more money now, maybe they have new supply and life seems to be great, and the universe seemingly or God seemingly has shined upon them or smiled upon them. Well, that's because that is how the narcissist is being perceived. It is not necessarily the reality of the narcissist. And the other thing I would like to add to that is that usually when a person has been hurt by the narcissist or grieved by the narcissist, it is very tough. I don't debate this. It is very tough for him or her to move forward because they are still focusing on the dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist. The narcissist has moved forward. They have thrived forward because they have made it up in their minds that they were going to do that. So therefore, the universe did not stand in their way. Some of us who continue to focus on the cluster B personality and the narcissist in a dysfunctional relationship we had with him or her, we continue to focus, therefore we are stuck. We can have a great life too. However, some of us choose to remain focused on the past. So therefore, we continue to operate off of that vibrational frequency. And the universe will continue to oblige us. Meaning, when we focus on the dysfunction and we focus on the past and all the pain and the trauma that came with it, the universe will oblige us to experience that more. When the narcissist has moved on forward, when the cluster B personality has thrived on forward, regardless of the grievances they have caused others, the reason why the universe obliged him or her to move on and thrive on forward, and they end up with more money, more people, or more supply in their life, it is not because the universe is saying, well done, I will shower you with love and success. No. That's not what's going on, folks. What's happening, again, is the universe is obliging the narcissist and cluster B personality the vibrational frequency that he or she is on. Just like we are on a particular vibrational frequency. So the universe obliges us. It's equal. There's no favoritism. Let's move forward. The narcissist will not be denied the best life that he or she can possibly experience, no matter who cries that they do not deserve it. The universe pays no attention to whether or not the narcissist deserves pleasure, power, advancement, love, respect, or wealth. All that matters is the energy, frequency, and vibration the narcissist has, which determines his or her success in life. So here we go. We all can experience this. It depends on what we focus on. It depends on the vibration that we are operating on. The narcissist will not be denied. A lot of us have experienced this firsthand because we've had relationships with him or her. And they seemingly had no remorse and no empathy and what have you. And they thrived on forward. And some of us have scratched our heads wondering how was it that they ended up having more money, more success in life, so on and so forth. Well, we have to again look at how the universe does not show favoritism to anyone. No, the energy, the vibration, and the frequency is what the universe pays attention to. It doesn't matter who's tacked on to that energy, that vibration, or the frequency. So that means when the narcissist decides that he or she will not be denied the best life, guess what? The universe will oblige that person. The universe is not going to stand in their way. So this is often why we see how some narcissists go on to have more supply in their life via people, places, and things, money, pleasure, power, whatever you want to, whatever a good life is to you. Some of us have witnessed this. After the narcissists have left us in pieces, they have thrived on. They moved on. Now, I'm not saying this to cause any anger or frustration to anyone or even sadness. I'm simply coming from a place of love and I'm sharing with you. In this video, my aim is not to influence anyone to feel anger or sadness or to drown in despondency. No, I'm simply pointing out why some of us continue to suffer and feel pain long after the narcissist and the cluster B personality have thrived and moved on. It is because some of us continue to focus on the past. We were once operating on a particular vibrational frequency. Some of us have decided we will remain vibrating on that particular vibrational frequency, which is also why some of us go on and have other dysfunctional relationships. That particular narcissist is gone. Now here comes another one. Well, it's because we continue to focus on the past. We continue to operate off of the same vibrational frequency that opened us up to the experience of having dysfunctional relationship with narcissists and cluster B personalities. So that scenario continues. It's not because we're necessarily a bad person. It's not because we're necessarily cursed. It's not because somebody else did this to us. No, it's because just like the narcissist and the cluster B personality, we choose to operate on a particular vibrational frequency and we choose to have a particular energy body. The narcissist and cluster B personality is not that special. They're not different in that regard. So the narcissist will not be denied. Some of us, again, know this personally. They will not be denied the best life, and they will thrive on and move on and do what is necessary to experience that. The universe will oblige him or her. The universe does not pay attention to whether or not the narcissist did people wrong or not. We pay attention to that, and I'm not saying we're wrong for that. All I'm saying is this is why some of us have scratched our heads and wondered, well, why is it that the narcissists seem to succeed after they did me wrong? Some of us will say, or wonder, or think, right? A lot of us have been there. But again, I'm just clearing up why that is. Sometimes that is because the narcissist has determined they didn't get our permission. They didn't need our permission to make that choice. They have decided that they're not going to be denied the life that they want. And guess what? You can do the same thing. At any given time, it's all about what one chooses at any given time. The same goes for those who have been involved in one way or another with the narcissist and the cluster B personality. Unfortunately, those who have been hurt by the narcissist fail to keep this in mind. They also need to mind their energy, frequency, and what vibration he or she functions upon. When a person chooses to shift their attention from the narcissist to themselves, it is a game changer. So once a person decides that they're going to live a wonderful and awesome life, it doesn't even matter what the narcissist says. It doesn't matter what the cluster B personality says. So we can flip that around, and now we can begin to understand why is it that the narcissist sometimes goes ahead and they seem to live a better life than we. Some of us now can begin to understand how and why is it that the narcissist seems to move on and enjoy success in life after they have grieved so many people. It's all due to the choice that he or she made. It is not because the universe shows favoritism. No. Just think about it. How crazy is that? That anyone would be rewarded for abusing you or mistreating you. Come on. It doesn't work that way. No one escapes the natural consequences of their actions. So I hope that gives you some comfort. The narcissist is not exempt from that. There's a thing called cause and effect, and we're all up under that umbrella. Nobody escapes that, not even the narcissist. So even though they may have gone on to have what appears to be a successful life, that is not usually how it really is. The universe does not show favoritism to anyone. This is not a case of right and wrong. This is not a case of morality or having morals. You ever heard that phrase or that saying that what you focus on grows? There's a lot of truth to that. So if you're still focusing on the past and the dysfunctional relationship you have with the narcissist, the universe will make sure that people, places, and things manifest in your life to match that, because that's the vibration you're focusing and functioning on. Same goes for the narcissist. If he or she is not focusing, and they rarely do, they don't focus on the relationship they had with you. It's gone. It's over. For the narcissist, they moved on to new supply. That could be in the form of people, places, and things. That means they have more money sometimes. They have more supply. They have moved on to different places around the globe. That's what all that means. So when we choose to focus and look at the narcissist instead of focusing on our own lives, well then, again, things are going to manifest in our lives to match that. We're going to feel depressed. We're going to feel frustrated. We're going to feel angry because we're constantly looking at the narcissist, and it seems like he or she has won. Seems like he or she is better off than we are. Well, of course, that's the way it looks. But is that the way it really is? Probably not. The universe obliges anyone who demonstrates the energy, frequency, and vibration which screams with passion. I will live and enjoy life to the full, no matter who, what, or why. If one enjoys the rich fullness of life and all the pleasures that come with it based upon whether they are deserving of it or not, no one would experience it. I really think this is a true statement. No one would experience success. No one would experience pleasures in life if it was based upon whether we deserved it or not. Some people that we focus on, like the narcissist, who seems to enjoy the success in life and all the pleasures that come with it, see, we're doing ourselves a disservice by focusing on him or her. That keeps us stuck in the sunken place. That keeps us on a particular vibration. We're still looking at the past. We're still focusing on what the narcissist did to grieve us, when the universe has shown us opportunity after opportunity and has cleared the way for us to thrive forward. Because a lot of us have simply outgrown the dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist and cluster B personality, which is why either they moved away or we moved away from the dysfunctional relationship. Because really, when you think about it, somebody had to leave that relationship. Somebody had to walk away, right? A lot of us have had opportunity after opportunity, and we still have the opportunity before us to thrive on forward and make this statement. I will live and enjoy life to the full, no matter who, what, or why. The narcissist is not that special. So don't let them be the only one to make that statement, okay? And mean it. You have so many opportunities to thrive forward and enjoy your life. Is the narcissist really that important to you that you miss out on your life? I hope not. So the universe does oblige everyone who demonstrates the passion, the desire. You know, it's really not the desire, but it's more like the passion, the will that they're going to thrive forward. Because, see, we really don't get what we want a lot of us don't always get what we want. We end up getting what we feel. A lot of us end up getting what we feel and not necessarily what we want. Because what we want and what we feel does not match. So this is why sometimes we may desire to have healthy relationships, but we end up having yet another toxic relationship. Why is that? Well, because that's how we feel. That's not really matching what we desire. It's because that's how we feel. So again, the universe focuses on energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, what does those three things have in common? Energy, frequency, and vibration match what we feel. It matches what's going on inside of us. So when we make a statement of desire and we end up getting the opposite, it is because we have the energy, frequency, and vibration that matches that reality. Because it opens us up to having that reality. So this is often why a lot of us do not get what we want. We get what we feel. So you may make the statement like, I desire to have a healthy relationship with someone who's not a narcissist. However, you end up having another relationship with a narcissist. And you may be wondering, well, why is that? Well, it's because that's how you feel. You're still open. You're still operating on a vibrational frequency, whereas a narcissist can come in. So you can experience that reality again. That's why you end up getting the opposite of what you desire, because what you feel does not match what you desire. The universe only pays attention to energy, frequency, and vibration, which matches what you feel, not what you desire. The universe does oblige everyone. The universe does not show favoritism. So today I want to challenge you, especially my stars, to make that statement. I will live and enjoy life to the full, no matter who, what, or why. And feel that statement. Just don't say it, feel it. And some of you may be amazed by what starts to manifest in your life. The planets will start lining up for you. Because it's not that you're just making a statement. No, you feel the statement you're making. The universe pays attention to energy, frequency, and vibration. It's not about who is deserving. It's about who is open to experiencing life to the full, regardless of who they are, what they have done, and the protests from others who do not think it's deserved. The universe obliges everyone without favoritism. A lot of people realize that there are consequences to their actions, and a lot of people don't realize that, such as the narcissist. This, however, does not mean that things don't manifest in their lives to challenge them. The narcissist and this is what we don't hear about too much. That is, the narcissist and the cluster B personality, they have not been exempt from that thing called cause and effect. Meaning what they set out, what they put out there comes right back to them. We are all up under that umbrella. It's a thing called cause and effect. Now, the last time I checked, that's still in motion. That still exists. The same thing applies to the narcissist and the cluster B personality. So when they set something in motion, when they treat people a certain way, it does manifest in their lives in the form of a person, place, or a thing. Of course, the narcissist walks around like he or she is immune to that. Of course they do. They have to be able to ensnare other people. Therefore, they have to make themselves look like they are the picture of success, regardless of who they have grieved along the way, regardless of how they got to where they got to, regardless of all that. It is about the frequency, the vibration, and the energy. That's what it's about. Tool number 1, decide that you will get your own priorities in line instead of focusing upon what you think the narcissist has. This is an obsession which will cause you to miss out on your own life. The narcissist has claimed your life. Reclaim your personal power and life. So the narcissist has claimed your life, figuratively speaking. Think about all the things you went through in the dysfunctional relationship with him or her. Figuratively speaking, they claimed your life. Does this sound fair? No. Does this seem to be very grim? Yes. Can this be changed? Absolutely. Reclaim your personal power and your life. It belongs to you, not the narcissist. The choice is yours. Again, it is not about who deserves what. It is about the vibration, the frequency, and the energy one chooses. That's what it's about. Tool number 2, build a support base designed to provide you effective resources and tools in order to help you to focus upon thriving forward, to heal wounds that need to be healed. The narcissist and or cluster B personality will not do this for you. Actually, the narcissist and the cluster B personality is not responsible for doing that. The narcissist is not worthy, I hope, of you missing out on your life. So go ahead, and I want to challenge all my stars especially to begin to refocus and build your own support base. It starts with you. The first step to building a support base is to draw up the blueprint. Whenever the architect is going to build a building, they start off with the blueprint. So when it comes to building your support base, start off with drawing up the blueprint. Discontinue to invest emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and psychologically in the narcissist. He or she served a purpose in your life that you may or may not understand. Find the purpose of the dysfunctional relationship, and you will more than likely not repeat that experience again. So once we learn the valuable lesson and we see the purpose that the dysfunctional relationship served in our lives with the narcissist, once we see that, once we learn that, we have passed the class. We get to graduate. The valuable lessons that go unlearned will pop up in our lives over and over in the form of people, places, and things. We will continue to experience certain painful scenarios over and over until we get that valuable lesson. This is often why in many of my videos, I challenge, especially my stars, to ask the question, what is the purpose of the relationship with the narcissist or the cluster B personality? What's the purpose of it? Because once you answer that, it is game over for them, and it's a game changer for you because it places so many things into clear perspective. You will be amazed once you answer that one question, how the planets will start lining up for you. One of the things that it does for you by answering that question, what is the purpose of the relationship with the narcissist or the cluster B personality, is that it will help you to clearly see how you tend to do relationships. How do you do it? How do you problem solve? Or do you tend to be passive? Do you allow life to happen to you? Or do you, like the narcissist, get involved and say that you will experience life to the full, regardless of who, what, when, or why? It doesn't even matter. You're going to experience life to the full, no matter what, no matter who, no matter why. And you feel that. And watch what happens. Because you're not stating a desire, but yet you feel like crap. Okay? Because when you make that statement and you feel like crap and you stay stuck in that feeling, you stuck in the sunken place, guess what? What's going to manifest in your life in the form of people, places, and things are what's going to match what you feel when you make that statement. So if you feel like crap and you stay stuck there, but yet you make the statement that you desire something better, what you have stated will not happen. because you feel the opposite of it. And you remain in the sunken place because you choose it, not because somebody is keeping you there. So that's a trap, by the way. That's a trap that I learned about. You know, it's easy to sit back and say, well, I feel badly because a narcissist treated me badly. It's easy. See, that's a trap. The reason why that's a trap. The reason why some people end up stuck in the sunken place and they want to blame the narcissist for it, well, that's what keeps them in the sunken place. They choose to focus on the narcissist. No, you're not in a sunken place because the narcissist is making you stay there. No, you're there because you choose it. You're there because you choose it. You have decided that you're going to focus on the narcissist and how they hurt you, not to belittle your experiences. But when you focus on how they hurt you, you stay in the sunken place, no matter what you say. It's about how you feel, because that's your energy, that's your vibration, that's your frequency. And the universe matches. So the universe obliges. So if you feel badly, guess what? The universe will oblige. And the universe make sure there are more people, places, and things that match how you feel, not your desire that you have stated. Next tool. Take steps to release the energy accumulated during the dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist. There are many methods to release an energy that no longer serves you. Remember that at one time you were a vibrational match with the narcissist, which is why and how you were open to experience that particular reality. So whenever we are a vibrational match to a particular person that maybe feel unpleasant to us, we have to then take a look in the mirror. We gotta look in the mirror. That was tough for me to do. That was tough because it was easier for me to blame the other person that did not show up in my life the way I desired him or her to. So it was very easy for me to look at that person and say, oh, well, they did this or they did that to hurt me or whatever. That's easy to do. But that keeps a person in the sunken place. So when you release that energy from that dysfunctional relationship, you are doing a very powerful thing. There are many methods to releasing toxic energy. I'm not going to get into that at the moment. I've done several videos about it. But the thing I really want you to remember is that at one time, you were a vibrational match with the narcissist, with the cluster personality. So that opens you up to having that painful experience. You don't have to keep choosing that. You don't have to keep choosing that. But it's amazing how a lot of us unconsciously do just that. We continue to choose that. So we're stuck in the sunken place. And we keep on focusing on the narcissist, which is a vicious cycle because it keeps us in the sunken place. Once we release that energy and once we choose to redirect our focus, it's game over for the narcissist and it's a game changer for us. Once a person chooses to refocus their attention off of the narcissist and on into their own lives or what is important to him or her, it's a game changer. It's game over for the narcissist and it's a game changer for that person who is making that choice. It's a vicious cycle. When a person chooses to continue to focus on the narcissist, they're stuck in the sunken place. And the reason why they never get out is because they continue to choose to focus on the narcissist and what they think he or she has. That's so good. No. What does that matter to you anymore? The relationship with the narcissist and cluster personality has ended. That dysfunctional relationship has come to an end because you have outgrown that relationship. So now you have to wake up and realize this. The reason why some people end up in the sunken place and they stay there for a long time is because of what I just stated. They have chosen to do so. The narcissist has nothing to do with it. It is so easy to blame the narcissist though. Did they do things that were wrong? Did they do things that were grievous? Yeah. Nobody's debating that. Nobody's debating that. Again, there's a thing called cause and effect. The narcissist and cluster B personality, they have not escaped the consequences of grieving others. The narcissist and the cluster B personality is in a state of self-destruction. They have to face the consequences of that, regardless of their money, regardless of the sources of supply that he or she has access to, regardless of that. A lot of us can think about somebody we may know personally, or maybe we've heard of, that was labeled a bad person. Yet when you look at their life, they have money, they have other people around them. Their life seems like a big party. That doesn't mean that they're a good person. That doesn't mean that they're a bad person. Okay? It doesn't mean that. It just, that's not. See, a lot of us get caught up in that. Like, how does that person deserve that? How does that person, they're bad. They don't deserve that. See, we get caught up in. The only person that's hurt by that is the person who keeps looking at the narcissist saying they don't deserve the goodness. They don't deserve the pleasure. They don't deserve the power or the respect. Or they don't deserve that because look at what they did to me. See, we can preach that all day long, and it's not going to change the reality. The narcissist and the cluster B personality, they function off a particular vibrational frequency, which opens them up to that experience, whether we like it or not. That's the bottom line. So how are you going to experience your life? That's the real question. It's time to redirect the focus. It's time to stop focusing on the narcissist. The narcissist and the cluster B personality have thrived on forward. They are not looking back. But what's interesting is that they do reenact unresolved, painful issues from their past. They do reenact it. But while they're doing that, they have source supply around him or her currently. They may live in a nice house. They may have more money than you remember them having. All these things. The bottom line is this. They are on a vibrational frequency that opens them up to having or experiencing that reality. Doesn't matter if they're a good person or not, because that's not what it's about. It doesn't matter if they're deserving of it or not. That's not what it's about. The universe will back up and support and oblige everyone, including you, who is on a particular vibrational frequency, who has a particular energy body. So in conclusion, the universe pays attention to vibration, frequency, and energy. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I'm Luminousz Ztarr. Stay tuned for more videos.